Today we will talk about XRP, how they can conduct offline payments, how it connects into PayPal, and how countries such as India are working to use this kind of tech in CBDCs right now. To begin to explain the tech here is an example of how the XRPL can use radio and satellites for efficient transactions in remote areas. And here's a map view that just explains how it's all connected. And these access terminals that kind of can act as a payment station or an ATM. And here is an explanation of how it actually works.
The end result is a financial radio data network that can be deployed and maintained for a tiny fraction of the cost of traditional cellular data networks. Because our protocols run on a wide range of equipment, supply chain problems and the use of specialized or proprietary equipment can be avoided. Since all the equipment was chosen for low power consumption, large national networks can be rolled out rapidly without the requisite infrastructure required in traditional networks. Finally, we propose the use of specialized user interface terminals to allow payments both within a village and internationally without the need for smartphones or other expensive end-user equipment. By having a common and simplified user interface, people of all levels of technical competency can use CBDCs as easily as an ATM machine. So this is kind of a demo prototype. It is actually transacting on the XRP ledger with real XRP cryptocurrency using the radio sets and the protocols. Now the user interface is kind of a temporary construct. It was just built in order to facilitate the demo. Our next push will be on building a much nicer and friendlier user interface that would enable all the features of the XRPL. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and connect. So at this point, the network has completed the Diffie-Hellman key exchange and has initiated the AES encryption during the transport. And at this point, it's going to go ahead and just get the balance for the account that the terminal is using and then send that balance over to the machine via the VHF radio. So I'm going to go ahead and send 10 XRP from the terminal, and you can see the Zoom wallet underneath. It shows 9,000 XRP. So we're actually sending to that wallet through the radio network. So you will see the balance of that wallet actually get updated by the 10 additional XRP. So the transaction that was posted from the radio network has now been applied to the XRP ledger, and we'll see the balance on the Zoom wallet update by 10 XRP. So it's important to note that this is a full duplex time division multiple access protocol. So both nodes have an equal opportunity to speak.
Here is an explanation of how it would work over text as well.
Ripple Mobile is designed to improve CBDC and Ripple accessibility in low-tech markets without internet access. Today I'll go over the different features of Ripple Mobile. Registration. Users can register their numbers with Ripple Mobile by dialing the USSD extension. This works regardless of the phone they use and without internet access. Users are presented with a USSD menu, and once they respond with option 1, they are requested to select a secure 4-digit PIN. Once they put in their 4-digit PIN, the account creation process begins, and once completed, they will receive a welcome SMS with more details of next steps. Check balance. Once a user has been registered, they can dial the USSD extension and will be presented with a menu of different options to choose from. After selecting option 1 for account balance, they are requested to input their PIN for verification. After a few moments, they will retrieve an SMS detailing their account balance. Get account info. Registered users can dial the USSD extension to receive a USSD menu of options. Once Get account info is selected, they will input their 4-digit PIN for verification. Once verified, they will retrieve a USSD message displaying their wallet address, balance, and other info. Get transaction history. And registered users can dial the USSD extension and retrieve a menu of options to choose from. Once Get transaction history is selected, they will be requested to input their 4-digit PIN for verification. Once verified, they will retrieve an SMS detailing a summary of their transaction history so far. Send XRP. When a user wants to send XRP to another user, they go through the familiar process of dialing the extension. They then select Send XRP from the menu and are requested to input the recipient's mobile number. Then they are requested to put in the amount of XRP they would like to send, and they verify this transaction with a 4-digit PIN. After they have completed that, they will receive an SMS confirming their transaction has been successful or not, and the recipient will also receive an SMS that they have received money in their wallet. That concludes our Ripple Mobile demo. Thank you for taking the time.
And we've got one more example of how it actually works and how it can be applied.
One of the big challenges of retail CBDC is to handle peak traffic as well as connectivity breaks or offline BIS. Our offline DLT can enable payment offline, a sandbox with HSBC Bank and 10 finalists for EHKD. A typical retail payment with POS but no internet starts at $37. POS, scan the QR code and receive an XRP check of $2. Now it's $35. Pay another $3. It shows $32. as the ledgers on the blockchain cannot be verified offline. Double spending cannot be avoided. iBonus's offline DLT uses two trusted mechanisms to prevent it. Virtual Card Digital Certificate specifies the initial user account balance. Transaction Digital Certificate specifies the latest balance attached to the user's offline ledger. In a typical offline transaction, both certificates are sent as a QR code to the POS for verification. If sufficient funds, invoice ID, dollar amount are addressed, and the new TDC are sent over Bluetooth, an XRP check signed with the user's private key is sent over Bluetooth to the POS. When the internet is available, checks are submitted to the blockchain. With XRP, we can provide a complete online and offline retail payment system with instant settlement for a market of $2 trillion transaction volume today. This highly secure and trusted system will be widely adopted as the banking industry is converting to ISO 20022.
So here's how it connects into things like PayPal, and I'll also talk about how it relates to the conversations from probably about a year ago where people were saying that XRP could compete with Visa right now. And depending on what numbers that you actually looked at, that could be shown as possible or not. And I think that this offline payment transacting can put XRP in competition with credit card processors. The article here is from February 8th of 2024, and it's talking about how PayPal will be prepared to offer offline payments when DMA goes into effect. And it's specifically talking about EU regulations and Digital Markets Act. And here they are saying that offline payments, which are those that take place in physical retail stores, is an area PayPal has unsuccessfully tried to expand into for a long time, but they have begun to work on that more and be prepared. And that just goes back more into PayPal and its ties into XRP, because a lot of the key people from the PayPal mafia are involved with projects such as XRP, XLM, and even SHX. Here is a document from Visa that is talking about offline use of CBDCs. So they are aware that this will be a requirement as more countries actually roll out a CBDC, and or as these crypto payment rails begin to get more and more adoption. And it is interesting to note that the payments on sites that actually happen at a store are all offline. It's only the transaction itself that gets processed, and the actual settlement happens in the background, which is why it takes time to completely process it. And that's why I think that it's another point that shows that things like XRP can directly compete with credit card payment processors. Name one chain that allows payments to happen without a connection to the internet. It is only one chain on the XRPL. Now, I did find a bit more information on one more that makes even more ties into XRP that I will talk about in a bit. So we are seeing countries such as India work more on offline payments with CBDCs. And here is another article on how India is beginning to introduce offline e-rupee transactions, which coincidentally has the same date as the PayPal article. It's also important to note that Ripple payments partner Nium has officially expanded into India with 2 key payment licenses and uses XRP in transfers. Now we begin to talk about the connections into HBAR, and they are also talking about offline payment. IDEMIA has a secure solution for offline CBDC payments, which allows us to make consecutive offline payments with immediate processing. It also involves Google as well, who is heavily tied into HBAR. And I found this interesting because HBAR and XRP are involved in Project New Dawn. And I have explained it in the past, but it was before I had the audience I do now. So I will probably cover it in more detail again. But they are working together on Project New Dawn, which is a project to create a digital dollar. And here we show even more connections for HBAR into the U.S. Federal Reserve's CBDC proof of concept. And here is a shot from the publication. And Cash Official even went so far as to say a $10 HBAR is possible at some point in time.